Hello friends, Wes here, back with another record collection survivor. The last time I did this, the first time, I didn't even know what I was going to call this series, but I think that name works out pretty good, you know, showing what made the cut and what different, what didn't. And it's been a couple weeks now, and the pile's starting to build up again, so I wanted to go ahead and get another one of these filmed and show you what I kept and what I didn't. Actually, most of this stuff is stuff I'm keeping, so just go ahead. We'll start out with the stuff I'm not keeping real quick. Here's just two here. This first one is this No Friend Around by John Lee Hooker on Red Lightning Records. This is something I got at the Hospice thrift store last year some point. If you've been watching my videos all along, you probably saw this before, but it has a it gets stuck in one groove at one point near the end of the record, so can't keep that, unfortunately. It's not super valuable. It's pretty rough to begin with, but I thought I'd give it a chance for 50 cents and just see, but it's not worth keeping, unfortunately. And the other one is this speeches of Franklin D. Roosevelt and John F. Kennedy. This is something when I ordered my inner sleeves, or no, it was when I ordered outer sleeves a while back last year, into last year. They sent this in with it, just threw it in the box from the Square Deal Recordings people. And I gave it a listen to, and it has a skip at the beginning, so I already have a couple of these John F. Kennedy memorial album sort of things, so I won't keep this one. It was just something I listened to. Alright, so now moving on to the pile of stuff that I'm keeping. First thing we have is Chicago 7. It's a pretty interesting album. It's a two album set. The first one is almost completely instrumental jazz sort of stuff, no vocals, and it was originally started out to be just a single album, and then Peter Cetera and one of the other guys in the band were worried that it was going to be alienating the fans just doing a pure strictly jazz album, so they did a second disc that has some more of their pop rock sort of stuff. But it's really cool. I wasn't expecting so much jazz, but it's really cool. This is a good album. I like it. I definitely want to listen to it some more, so I'm keeping it. Three of the Beach Boys are on here, and the Pointer Sisters are on here also. This is from 1974, so that one is added to the collection. Definitely want to listen to that some more. Next up we have is Cypress Hills Black Sunday. This is definitely added to the collection. All the hip-hop stuff I have is going to be kept for now. But pretty cool. Next one up is George Michael's Faith. And probably everybody has this album. It's so popular. It's a great sounding album. This album sounds just great. The mastering is really good. The recording is really good. And this is a promotional copy, so it's nice early pressing. And yeah, I was just amazed at how well this sounds on vinyl. So it was one of those albums where you know really well because you've heard all the hits off of it, but if you haven't heard it on vinyl, it's like hearing it for the first time. So it's a great album. Here's one that Derek showed a while back, and I went ahead and went on Discogs and bought a copy just to see what it was about, because it intrigued me. This is Andy Bound, Gone to My Head. And yeah, it's okay. It has its moments. It's not amazing, but I'm gonna keep it for now. Maybe revisit it some and try to decide, but it didn't blow me away. Next up, we have This Is Buddy Guy. This is a live performance on Vanguard. And this is the one one of the other ones I got at the same time I got that John Lee Hooker, and this one's, it looks pretty rough on the surface, but it actually sounds pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's, you know, Vanguard, it has nice heavy pressings, so it actually sounds a lot better than it looks. And it doesn't skip or anything, so I'll keep it for now, and hopefully maybe sometime down the road I can find a nicer copy of this. But it's definitely just a good live recording. We got Eazy-E, Real Motherfucking G's, 12-inch on Ruthless Records. This is kind of interesting. It has 3 tracks, you know, it has the vocal, the instrumental, and then another song, Any Last Words, and it repeats on both sides. So you only have to play one side of this to get everything. Talk about that. And next up, we have Ice-T's Home Invasion. Another cool album. One that the teacher showed off in the comic book art thread. Very comic book like art there. Very cool art. Something I didn't think about showing. Yep. Cool. Always keep Ice-T albums. Does a lot of good stuff. Next up is pretty much a standard. Everybody has this one. Jim Croce, Photographs and Memories, Greatest Hits. Actually had acquired multiple copies of this and went through and found the nicest copy I had, and this is the one I'm keeping. So got rid of a couple other copies of this. I'm just keeping this one. And then next up we have the Roaches, Keep On Doing. This is sort of my first foray into the Roaches. I guess I first learned about them through Sid. She was talking about them, and yeah, it's quite interesting music. It's sort of folky comedy. It's interesting. It's you know, it's not anything normal or typical. Quite interesting. Definitely something I want to listen to some more and sort of dig into a little more. And finally, we have another Leo Kottke album. There was one in the first episode of this series, and this is the second Leo Kottke I have that was in my to be listened to area, and this is the album Greenhouse. This one's a little bit different than the self-titled one I showed before. This one actually has some vocals in it, which I'm not too thrilled with the songs that actually have vocals on them. I'm not sure it really adds anything to it. But Leo Kottke is just a great guitarist, great musician, great music, great sort of folky kind of stuff. So those were the recent things that are being added into the collection. I'll work on building up another pile over the next couple weeks, and we'll visit this again in a couple weeks. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.